views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hey, how are you? I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and welcome to Open BXRX. Coming up on today's show, another fantastic show. Keep it right here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet if you want to. We'll speak to a representative whose organization is celebrating the voices of Black women in literature. Then we'll learn about a grassroots organization that is creating space for social enterprise and creativity within the community. And we'll speak to a film previewer who will highlight some of the most impactful films of 2020. After that, Bobby C has the latest in the world of sports. And then we'll sit down with a representative whose soccer team has played an important role in aiding the South Bronx during COVID-19. Stay tuned. All this and more is headed your way because we are now open. Hey, our first guest is the founder of the Free Black Women's Library, and she joins us today to share what her organization is doing to celebrate Black women in literature. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Please welcome to the show, Ola Ronke Akinmowo. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so you've been doing this for some time. Tell us about your organization and what you're doing within it.
Well, I started this literary art project in 2015, so it's been a little bit over 5 years now. And what it is a traveling collection of books, all written by Black women. At present, there are about 2,500 books in the collection. And the way the library works is that it travels all over New York City. And every month, it's in a different location. And every time the library appears in a location, the community is invited to gather together, to take part in different workshops, to witness performances, to sit and watch some great movies, to talk about books, to listen to authors come in and read excerpts from their work and talk about being published. So it's a literary social art project, and it's also kind of like just a moment for people to kind of come together. Yeah. And for every book you bring, you get to take a book as long as it's a Black woman writer. So in addition to taking part in all of the public programming that the library provides, you are also welcome to trade in your old books for new ones. And you can keep the books that you take. You can keep them if you really, really love them, or you can bring them back and trade them for new ones. So people come back every month and they trade books and they get to experience new works. They get to experience classic works. I have children's books, I have young adult books, I have comic books, I have history, erotica, pretty much any genre available for people.
Erotica?
Erotica.
Okay. Erotica.
Erotica.
So wait a minute. So
that's books with adult content. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So what made you want to come? How did you get this idea to come up with this trade-off situation?
Well, I wanted to do something that focused on Black women, and I wanted to do something that focused on the brilliance of Black women, the creativity of Black women, the diversity of Black women. I really like the idea about Blackness being a global concept. So I have books written by women from the Caribbean, books written by women from all over Africa, books written by women from all over this country, of course. So there are different ideas around it. One is providing books for the community that they might not normally find anywhere else, even in your public library, even in your favorite bookstore. And also the idea to just kind of push back against this narrative around like Black folks and reading, Black women and how creative we are and how diverse we are. You know, Black women are not a monolith. We have different interests, different passions, different ideas to share. So, you know, there was a lot of negativity in the media at that time. This was in 2015, and there's still a little bit of it now, but back in 2015, it was more negative than it is now. Things have changed a little bit, but at that time, there were a lot of negative stereotypes around Black girls, Black womanhood. These ideas still exist. You know, Black girls, Black women are often criminalized and kind of stereotyped. And the library, to me, is a representation of, you know, pushing back against all of that negativity. You know, it's a space where Black women and Black girls can feel seen and feel inspired and feel smart and let their imagination shine. Yeah. And it's not just for Black girls and Black women, it's for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Now, I understand you have a pop-up, you have a mobile unit going around, like a mobile library?
Well, I don't have an actual vehicle. I'm raising money for a vehicle, but I don't have an actual vehicle just yet.
That's a great idea, though. I think there used to be a library truck that came around when you were in elementary school. Remember, we used to go to different neighborhoods? That's a great idea. I don't know, maybe that's down the line.
Yeah, hopefully one day I'll be able to raise the thousands of dollars that requires. But right now, the way the library gets around is basically through Lyft, through Uber. Sometimes I might have somebody give me a ride. So it's just kind of varies every month.
Oh, we got to get you a ride. We got to get you a ride.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Pop-ups in different neighborhoods and different communities. That'd be great.
That's the dream. That's the dream. Like right now, the library has pretty much been in so many different locations. And the hardest part about the project is getting the books around, because, you know, books can be very heavy, very cumbersome to carry. But the library has popped up in museums, in art galleries, in barbershops, in clothing stores. It's been at Afro-Punk Music Festival. It's been all in different community gardens. It's different at parks, bus stops. And it would definitely be a lot easier if I had an actual van or a bus or a truck.
There you go. I used to be an intern at the radio station, WVLS, and I was in charge of redoing the whole music library. And I'm still doing it now, but this is already done. But the music, I also have a book library, of course, in the next room. But if you can put it together like in a vehicle, all somebody has to do is, in one of those big panel vehicles maybe, all I have to do is exchange and fix and rearrange in that vehicle. You won't have to carry all those books all over the place all the time.
Exactly.
I see it for you. I know you're going to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the dream. That's definitely the dream.
Yeah.
You know, have a bus or some type of Airstream, Winnebago, whatever.
Whoa, if you're going to go big, right?
And just kind of, you know,
put the bed in the back. An office and a bed in it.
Reconfigure it, refurbish it, put all of the books inside it, and then just drive it. Just take it on the road.
There you go. All right. So Olga, what are some of your favorite books that you are talking about this month? You do it monthly? You have your monthly favorites?
Yes. Every month we focus on a different book, a different author, a different genre. Right now, the next book club kind of reading discussion group that we're starting is focusing on the work of Gail Jones. Gail Jones has written a couple of books. She wrote a book called The Healing. She wrote a book called Corregidora. She wrote a book called Eva's Man. So we're going to be talking about her work. We also talk about Toni Morrison a lot, her essay collection, The Source of Self-Regard. And we're also talking about, you know, Roxane Gay, Alice Walker, Bell Hooks, Audre Lorde, all the greats. And especially Octavia Butler's book, Parable of the Sower. You know, it's a science fiction book that takes place in 2024. But a lot of the things that happen in the book are very relevant to what's going on now in this country, as far as with the government, as far as with coronavirus and all that thing. So that book is feels very
It
important.
speaks to what's happening now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it came out in the 80s and it just made the New York Times bestseller list last week. Because I feel like people are kind of getting hip to the fact that there are things in that book that
apply to what's happening today.
Exactly.
What's your website? Can we go and see more at your website and then get more involved?
I actually don't have my website up at the moment. I'm
social
still
media
on the website, but I have an Instagram, the Free Black Women's Library. I have a Facebook page at the Free Black Women's Library. I also have Twitter, Tumblr. Pretty much if you Google the Free Black Women's Library, a whole bunch of stuff should come up. I've been written about in Oprah magazine, in Teen Vogue. So there's a lot of information about the library out there. And right now it's just growing and it's really exciting. I hope to bring the library to the Bronx one day.
Well, now you're on worldwide on BronxNet. Yeah, Bronx Strong.
Bronx.
Olga, thank you so much. Ola Akinmowo. Ola.
Yes.
Yeah, Ola Ronke Akinmowo.
That's me.
Thank you. You're founder of the Free Black Women's Library. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing your mobile vehicle out there so you can do mobile pop-ups.
Yes.
All right. God bless. We'll see you again, okay?
All right. Bye.
All right, we'll take a break. We've got a whole lot more coming up next. Welcome. I'm the Doc Bob Lee, and I'm here with Coach T. She's the owner of the Bronx Collab Space. How are you? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm excellent. I'm one of the owners. I'm the co-owner of the Bronx Collab Space.
Yeah, that's good. That means you're an owner. But you got to move your hands when you talk.
We're about community and co-working, so that co is important. That's all.
Yeah, that's good. I love collabing.
Yep, we do too.
It's a beautiful thing. Tell us about your coaching and the things that you're doing and how you're helping our community, how you're contributing to the community.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bobley, for having me on. So the Bronx Collab Space is a community and co-working space really designed to allow Bronxites and really anyone a space to create, a space to do art, a space to educate, to gather as a community. We have a lot of celebrations in the space, but really we have a lot of opportunities to learn from each other. It's a community and co-working space, so that's what we've been up to.
Yeah, and your organization has been doing this for some time now, right? Tell us about it.
Well, I've been doing community work and coaching for years. However, the Bronx Collab Space was established a year ago, and we're on White Plains Road. So we're fairly new, but we're really growing and really sowing seeds in the community.
Yeah, and that's how you do that. What kind of events do you hold in these spaces that you're talking about?
You know, any type of events. We really love to say that we're a space created for the Bronx, a space created for you to create in. We have birthday parties, we have yoga sessions, we have wellness mixers, We have retirement parties as well as courses and workshops. So if you have a vision, we are the place to help you sort of like carry out your vision.
And how did you acquire the title as coach?
Because that's just I've just always supported people in the community with just remembering that they got it, and that they have the suit that they need, and that they can win at their game. So that's why everyone calls me Coach T.
There you go, Coach. And then you got the Collab Cares going on.
Oh, absolutely. Collab Cares Grab and Go Pantry is the heart of our business. We always say community is our business, and it's a grab and go pantry. We launched it in July, and folks can really just pull up and get a pantry package for their families, without us asking any type of question.
Yeah, there's a grab and go uptown in Harlem. I guess I'll tell you more about it. It's going to be between 118th and 119th Street and St. Nick.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. We
So
need
they're
more
having
grab
them.
and goes.
They're throughout our neighborhoods. You know, they're in the community, and
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you're doing it too, because people really need it.
Absolutely. They needed it before COVID, and then after COVID, they definitely needed it. So that's just one way that we're contributing to taking care of our community.
Speaking of such, how has COVID changed what you're doing in our community?
You know, COVID really just supported us with reshifting and reimagining our work. Absolutely, we've had to not have as many events as possible as we normally have, but we're still a gathering space. So even right now, I'm not in the space because it's being redesigned for social distancing, right? So it's really just allowed us to just like take a deeper look at how can we really do this. So we've really been supporting nonprofits that have been displaced to having spaces to meet, like with their young people. And then the pantry is something that's really been happening during COVID. So just really looking for ways to take care of the community while COVID is happening and not pausing our business.
It's good. Well, this is the time to redesign everything, right?
Absolutely.
Everything's on hold, so while you can't go indoors, somebody can go in there and fix things up, so when you come back.
Absolutely.
See, today we have to stay apart so that we can come together.
Oh, I like that. Stay apart so that we can come together.
You're going to use it, Coach?
I'm going to use it. Do I have your permission?
You got my permission.
Okay.
I'm going to charge you 10% every time you use it.
You won't hear me use it.
I'm going to treat it like a toll booth. No.
I thought you liked to collab. Let's collab on that.
And let's do it.
Okay.
All right. That sounds good. So what do you have coming up that people can get involved in right about now?
Well, we definitely have our Grab and Go Pantry happening September the 19th.
The 19th of September.
Yes, the 19th of September, 10 a.m. until supplies last. We have that going on. And then really the fall is going to be about continuing to support business owners with getting them the tools they need to survive. Because people still need funding, people still need to build skill. So we're really going to be opening up the space to offer certain courses to folks.
Yeah. What's the address on that Grab and Go?
The Grab and Go is at the Bronx Collab, so that's 3866 White Plains Road, on the corner of 222nd Street.
And you still got to come with your mask and everything, social distancing. You have the hand sanitizer there and everything.
Mask on, hand sanitizer. We actually distribute it outside, so you don't even have to come inside the space to get it.
There you go. All right. You have a website we can climb onto?
Absolutely. Check us out at thebronxcollab.com.
BronxCollab.com. That's what's up.
Yeah.
BX strong. And this is the second time you're on, so you're not new to this, huh?
I'm not new to much. No, I'm not. I'm walking in my purpose and playing the game to win. So I'm not new to much.
I'm going to use that. There you go. That's a trade-off, right? You want to give a shout out to some of the people working with you?
Absolutely. I want to shout out to, first of all, our co-owner, Esco, and just our whole team, the whole pantry team, all of the people doing work uptown in the Bronx, you know, entrepreneurs. I see y'all working. Just shout out to everyone. Sending our love to everyone.
And God bless you guys. We love what you're doing. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your platform.
Coach T, co-owner, the Bronx Collab Space. We appreciate you and love you.
Love you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a break. We've got more right here on Open next. next guest is a film reviewer, and he joins us today to discuss his podcast, Let's Review. That's the name of his podcast. And to share his opinion on some of the most impactful films of 2020. Please welcome to the show, Adam McPartland. Adam,
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So you got a lot going on. You do a lot of reviews, and the podcast is hot. Tell us about it.
Well, the podcast I started with my friend Steve. We had started it as part of a group blog about 2 years ago. We just recently revived it, and during the pandemic, and started talking about old time movies because none were being released.
Yeah. So you go to some of those old time cable stations like Me and all of that, and you watch some of those and you talk about them?
We use most of the movies we talk about we've already seen. We've watched them a long time ago. If we haven't seen them, we try to find them on Amazon or Hulu, Netflix, the cable stations. Absolutely.
So which movies? Give us an example of maybe one or two of the movies that you guys have spoken about already.
Oh, well, we had a real long debate about whether or not Star Wars The Last Jedi was actually good or not. That went on for a while. We still don't agree. He thinks it was really good. I think it was not.
Dude, I was at a Dude Ranch when that first came out. I was the
Really?
DJ at a Dude Ranch. And
What did you think of The Last Jedi?
Well, you're going to put me on a podcast. There we go. Let's turn the tables here. Good one. You didn't think it was too good, right?
No, I wasn't a big fan of it. Steve was.
Steve
loved
that's
it.
Good. That makes for a perfect argument. Yes and no, him and her, this and that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then we had one podcast specifically. We flipped a coin to take sides on movies we both loved, so that we would have to argue the negative side of movies we liked, like The Dark Knight, which was painful. So it hurt, but it's a fun exercise.
And you recently did film reviews for Tenet and The Five Bloods.
Yes, I did The Five Bloods as soon as it came out back in June, I believe it came out. And Tenet I just saw maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Did reviews for both. I absolutely loved The Five Bloods. I think it's probably I think it is Spike Lee's best movie.
It's Spike Lee movie, yeah.
I think it's his best movie ever.
So what conclusion did you come to? Did your partner argue against it?
Oh, we didn't talk about it on the podcast. We didn't talk about that one on the podcast just yet. We just I write reviews as well as doing podcasts. So I just wrote up the reviews for those.
Yeah. What made you want to get into it? Because there were a couple of guys out there that were doing this. Ebert and what's the guy's name?
Ebert and Roper. They had Siskel and Ebert. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was doing college radio, this guy, they used to have, they didn't call them podcasts, sort of like a podcast, but they had their little weekly things that they reviewed and spoke about different things that were coming out or that they've seen. Yeah.
Well, in high school, I saw the Quentin Tarantino, great director. I saw his movie Inglourious Bastards, and I really liked it. I said it would win a few Oscars. My mother laughed at me because she hated it. And then Christoph Waltz, the guy who played Hans Landa, he won an Oscar for supporting actor. And from there on, I basically self-taught myself how to critique a movie, how to watch what made a movie good, what made a movie bad, what pieces were good or bad, and started writing for the college paper in college. And then after I graduated, I wrote for an Irish film magazine, an Irish internet film magazine, and then started writing with the blog for my friends and elsewhere as like a freelance film critic.
Yeah, so you know how to do it now. So give me one tip. I'm going to watch this movie and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it on the radio. I want to talk about it to maybe a group of friends coming up. What should I look for?
Okay, well, it depends on who you're talking to, because what I find is that a lot of critics, they like to just bash things that are just like stupid funny, which is fine. I mean, it's that, but the movie is not really going for incredible film excellence. They're going to make people laugh.
Right.
So if you're talking to like your friends who just want to watch a stupid movie, you have to be able to channel that part out and be like, oh, well, it wasn't made for that. You have to say what it was made for, and then you can recommend it with a straight face. You can't look at it like you'd look at something like let's say 1917 from last year. You're not going to look at Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure the same way you'd look at 1917. They're two different audiences. So you can't look at every movie the same lens. That's the first piece of advice I'd give.
That's the first piece. I'll take that. So how have things changed for you, for your podcast and film review work since the pandemic?
Oh, it's been a lot harder since the pandemic started for film reviewing. I've had very few opportunities. There's been a lot of television shows that I could review. But not many movies. Da 5 Bloods was a nice little breath of fresh air during the pandemic for a break. Now Tenet came out. It's nice to have that to go write about. But it was really hard to constantly be writing up things about, for example, the best sports movies or the worst movies or the best superhero movies. Like after a while, it's like people probably get tired of listicles. So you want to try to find something to break it up with. And thankfully I was able to find some of those during the pandemic.
Yeah. And being in it for a while, you kind of know what to put in and what to take out and make it work.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Emmys? Who's going to win? What's going to happen? What should we look for?
Well, what you should look for, I got a lot of thoughts. I'll try to make them as quick as possible. I think, first of all, I think What We Do in the Shadows is the funniest movie on television. It's a mockumentary type show about vampires living in Staten Island. It's absolutely hilarious. It got 3 nominations for writing alone, which just tells you how great the writing team is.
Vampires living in Staten Island.
It's absolutely hilarious. It's on FX. I can't recommend it enough.
I'm going to write it down.
Good. I'm glad I could convert another person to watch What We Do in the Shadows. I'll take it. I've been converting everybody over the pandemic to go binge it. But I would be looking for Schitt's Creek, the Pop TV Canadian series, to be winning just about everything.
You said Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's, SCHITT 'S Creek.
Got it.
It's a Canadian television show with Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. And then in the drama side, it's going to be Ozark versus Succession. Ozark is the Netflix series that's basically Breaking Bad. And just in my opinion, I believe Ozark is a lot better. And Succession is a dark comedy satire on HBO about a media mogul family fighting each other. They're going to be fighting for every single award. It's going to be a great night. I would look for Schitt's Creek and Ozark and Succession to be the big winners in drama and comedy. And Watchmen, the HBO miniseries.
Yeah. Adam, do you think anybody's going to step up and take maybe a political stance or any kind of stance during the Emmys? Somebody usually always does.
I'm sorry, my audio cut out for a second. What was that?
Do you think somebody's going to step up and take a political stance? Or
yes, absolutely. Everybody who wins for Watchmen, the miniseries Watchmen was incredibly political, incredibly timely, especially now. I really think, especially when Regina King wins for Best Actress in a miniseries or television movie, I expect her to be at the front of everything and just make it very clear where she stands on everything.
Yeah. When do you think things are going to start opening up again with the movie theaters?
Man, in New York, that's a hard one. I know they already started opening AMCs in Connecticut. That's where I was able to see Tenet. I had to go out of state to see Tenet.
You had to go out of state, yeah.
Yeah, New York. Hopefully, fingers crossed, October. I would love to see the movie. I would love to see movies back here in October, but I'm not in the mood to rush. I prefer taking things slow and steady and quiet and careful, just for the sake of health and everybody. Yeah.
Because if they do open it up, they're only gonna have 25 people in there at a time, and you got the social distancing. Everybody's gonna be watching. You can't eat popcorn with a mask on,
Oh yeah, well that's the thing about AMC's. What the AMC did is they said you have to keep your mask on unless you're eating or drinking, which basically just gives everybody a license to take it off. But what you did is when you buy a ticket, they actually would then block off the seats directly in front of you and behind you and 4 down next to you to make sure that social distancing was enforced. So that was at least something they did, which I appreciated.
Thank you. Hey Adam, did we miss anything that you wanted to mention?
Nope, that was just about it.
That was it. How can we find you?
You can find me on Spreaker.com. Let's Review link. search for Let's Review and look for my name. Look for Steve Belfield as well.
There you go. You want to shout out some of the people that are working with you? Steve is one of them.
Steve is one of them. That's really about it. It's just me and Steve doing the work. It's just us.
Go. Hey, thank you for what you guys are doing out there. Thank you for your reviews and your podcasts, and keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Adam McPartland, host and film reviewer. Let's Review podcast. That's the name of it, right?
Yes, sir.
I was going to ask you, how'd you come up with that name? Let's Review podcast. It's simple.
Yeah. Steve and I were talking, and it was just so let's review what we just saw, and it came right out of the conversation. Like, that's what we should call it, by the way. Let's review.
Let's call it that. Adam, thank you so much. We love you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Great work. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. We'll take a break. We've got more on the way next on Open.
A decade in the making, created in 1790 to allocate our U.S. population and economy, and every 10 years check-in determining our community residents and needs. Women Voices Lead Suffrage Centennial acknowledges another year of elections, while Women in the Heights artists celebrate their 10 years anniversary through Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance guidance to ensure Uptown is recorded through our census count is how we identify our community needs. Although we are living in a social distancing era, thanks to the worldwide internet, we now have the means to hear the popular voices. So don't be left out. Go to my2020census.gov and make sure to be counted.
On Friday's show, we caught up with memorabilia giant Brandon Steiner. Here's part 2 of that interview. I feel like you're always one step ahead of everything when it comes to putting stuff together. And I think even just to create Steiner at that time and have really the boom of memorabilia when it comes to autograph signings and in-person appearances, and people were able to come up to New Rochelle to check out the headquarters. And then, for you to even make this big deal and to sell Steiner to Fanatics in 2019, and now, of course, to have Collectible Exchange, which I think is really innovative as well. I mean, this is a marketplace where now collectors can go and do more than just actually buy collectibles.
They could sell. I felt like, and I've been feeling this for a while, I just felt like this, after putting 25, 30 million autographs in the marketplace, not to mention everything else, I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that have stuff that maybe want to trade and sell and do it in an authentic, genuine way and an easy way. And eBay doesn't really give you that comfort. So this site is a site that I manage over personally. I have a really good team here so that collectors can find out what they have. They can find out what it's worth. And we help them sell their stuff and help them buy and find what they want. And that's what people really want, is unique stuff too. So I love Steiner. It was a great company, but I really wanted to disrupt and change the direction and go more in this direction, which I got to be honest with you. Like sometimes you watch a commercial say, do not try this at home. Like, do not blow up what you built for 30 years to try something else. But, something that's always thing my mother always taught me is you got to have balls. That was the name of my second book. And she's always like, be fearless. Don't be afraid to take the next step, even if it doesn't match up to your last step. And that's what I'm doing. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm very grateful that a lot of customers and fans, I think we have over 60,000 items on the site already. It's growing like weeds. We're doing an auction right now, our first auction, which is all different people around the country's stuff. So the stuff is very variable and very rogue and very weird. And that's what an auction should be. And I've learned that there's some great collectors around the country. And I'm really proud to collaborate with all of them and give them a platform that they could sell their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you have items like a car from Don Mattingly in the auction, correct?
Yeah, a car from Don Mattingly. There's a motorcycle that's themed after Thurman Munson. I mean, there's some all kinds of stuff. There's some Babe Ruth stuff on there. There's some Derek Jeter stuff on there. It's just such a wide variety of stuff. It's just fun even just looking through it. I was just going through the auction myself the other night. I was like, this is really fun. I have to refrain because I can't bid on that stuff, but I want it all. But it's fun to see that all the collectors around the country coming together and sharing their view of collecting. And that's what the site's all about. But I think where I've been the biggest help on the site is there's a lot of people that are sitting with stuff. They don't know what it's worth. They don't know what to do with it. And we help them. We help them value it. We help them kind of figure out if they want to sell it or enjoy it. We help them with those things.
The appraisal part of it.
Yeah, critical. And authentication part, critical. Is it real? So, we really pride ourselves on our site to really going through the site constantly and helping people make sure that their stuff is authentic or showing them how to get it authenticated so that people that are buying stuff don't have to worry. Because the buyer has an option on the site to go and get something additionally authenticated if they want to make sure that it's real.
Now, you have relationships with thousands of athletes. And like I said before, not just the collectible business, but so many of the different ventures that you do. I think the fans at home might know you from whether it's, the 3 books or the TV personality, or like I said, maybe buying merchandise, if not directly from you, through some of the distributors that have sold a lot of your stuff. Is there one particular athlete that when you first started working with, even if it's 30 or 40 years ago, that you were like, wow, I can't believe I'm working with so-and-so?
Well, certainly Muhammad Ali was one of them. I mean, it was just tremendous. Had a 4-year relationship there. And then even Mariano, when I walked up that 3-story walk up to his 1-bedroom, and we were desperate. It was 1998. We were trying to find somebody for a shopping show to sign World Series balls. And it's a little bit taboo to sign before World Series balls. So most players were saying no. We got up to ours. That's far we were in the list of roster, and we got to Rivera, and Rivera says, yeah, come over and bring it by us. So I had no one to do it. I brought the balls over, and he sits down and he starts signing the balls. I'm like, wow, this guy's a little different. And he asked me if I believed in God. I said, yes. He asked me if I believed in Jesus Christ, the Savior. And I stopped for a minute. I said, can I get back to you on that? And, it's been a great relationship ever since, and a great relationship about faith, about God, and sharing all those values, not only just baseball with, obviously now it's, in my mind, the greatest closer of all time and one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but also one of the greatest people of all time. So that was a great relationship because, I saw in the makings one of the greatest of all time. It wasn't always obvious. It wasn't just all of a sudden you knew it. And to be with him all these years, 25 years, and just watch him operate, and the focus, the intensity level, the faith in God, you learn a lot from players, not only about the sports part of it, but about the life part.
Now, as the king of memorabilia, I mean, what does the king of memorabilia keep in his own personal collection? Do you keep anything in your own collection?
Well, my wife was on the phone here and on the call. She would have a lot to say about this. Well, I keep a lot of Syracuse stuff because I love the orange and love Cuse. And so I keep, my gym, I keep a lot of orange and Syracuse, my favorite time of my life. And I can't keep enough Syracuse stuff around me. I was always a big Mel Stoudemire fan, so I have his 86 trophy from the World Series. Messier was a big part of my growing and finding my way. Another guy that I learned a lot from. So I keep a picture of him winning the cup. To Brandon, we did it. It's a simple piece of memorabilia. And then he'd come up to my office once and gave me his game used stick from his 611th goal, which I'm very proud of. And then my first autograph from Thurman Munson back in 1975, when I got to meet up with him in an elevator at the Sheraton in Boston after hackling him and screaming at him for 3 hours before the game started. I happened to run into him in the elevator, and he wasn't too happy with me, but he did sign my program. I'm one of my favorite Yankees of all time. I'm not going to lie. So that was amazing. So I keep a few things around, and I like my memorabilia. I'm more of a saver than a collector. I don't need to go out and buy necessarily the most expensive vintage. I save the things that players I have relationships with and that have meant something to me, and that I've been able to create or learn something from.
And at one point, you had Don Larson's Perfect Game jersey, correct? You still have that?
No. That, first of all, I love Don, and God rest his soul. He's just what a great guy, and had a great relationship with him. We sold his entire uniform. We auctioned that off, and it was great. I'm glad we did, because that money went to his grandchildren and for their education, and it did fetch, I think, about $750,000. Another one of my favorites, by the way, that we sold his entire collection, but I'm a crazy fan of, is Bob Knight. We went to his house, and I spent like 3 days with him, and then spent many more days after with him. And what a great coach, what a character. And it was just a joy to sell his collection. It was really fascinating to get inside his head about coaching and about the game. I don't know if there's ever been a coach that's had more impact on the game than him. And, you hear all these stories about a coach and everything, but then when you get behind it all, I mean, he was a genius, and I'm just really blessed to have spent the time so far with him. Hope to spend more with him. Stuff like that is just priceless. When I look at my career, I really enjoy still the talent, the competitiveness with some of these players that they're able to share with me. It's generally all good, and I love it. It inspires me and keeps me fired up.
Well, Brandon, before we let you go, we love the stories. Obviously only have so much time, but what does the future hold for you? What would you like to see for your business? And then where can the fans engage with you now?
Well, I'm a big LinkedIn guy, so just follow me on LinkedIn. And obviously, Collectible Exchange, I am giving away my book for free, any one of the 3 books. So if you're in sales and entrepreneurism, or if you're somebody that's over 40, definitely pick up my last book, Living on Purpose. It's probably my best work. I'm just excited, about sharing and creating a platform that the collectors all over the universe can go on and really feel like they connect with other collectors. That's really my goal. And then making sure the fans can buy directly from the players. I call it Collect Direct. So I'm building all these player websites. You'll see launch next week, a bunch of player websites where you can actually go on a player website and buy stuff from them directly.
That's so awesome. I mean, I'm excited. You're actually even helping me try to acquire an Evel Knievel autograph, which
yes.
I think is pretty cool to expand my collection. I think the fans, if there's any particular athlete that they're interested in, you can find them.
Yeah, no question. I mean, we have quite a bit of it on the Collectible Exchange, so there's a lot of it on there and growing like weeds. And if you have stuff that you want to sell, please reach out. We'll help you do that too.
Brandon, thank you so much for the time. Always great to listen to your stories. I love hearing about the all-time greats, especially here in New York City.
Well, thanks. And anytime, and enjoy the conversations we've had so far. Let's keep them going. And for all the fans out there, thank you. Very grateful for all of you to support me in this new venture and for all these past years. And hopefully I've created some fun and some wow for you.
Congrats again, Brandon. Talk soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and our next guest is the CEO of the professional soccer team, the football team, New York City FC. And he joins us to speak about the work his ball team is doing to help the South Bronx in the wake of COVID-19, while showing support for Black Lives Matter. Please welcome to the show, Brad Sims. Brad, welcome.
Hi, Bob. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. So you guys are doing a lot with football, huh?
Yeah, it's 2020 has been an interesting year to say the least, and obviously it's been one that has affected New Yorkers in just really unbelievable and tragic ways. And for us at New York City Football Club, our immediate thoughts, when the pandemic hit in March, was how do we look at our first and foremost our team members and our players, their health and safety, but then the community, and what can we do to help the community. And you will know, the Bronx is our home, and it was one of the areas, not just in New York, but in the entire country, that was one of the hardest hit areas by the pandemic. And so we really were focused very early on how could we make positive change and help the community. So that's been a huge focus of ours.
Yeah, and Brad, you have a number of partnerships going on. Tell us about one.
Yeah, sure. I think from the beginning we've had a long-standing partnership with New York Common Pantry, and immediately we reached out. We knew that people were going to be in need, and what could we do to help? And so we organized many of our team partners and along with the club to help donate meals and get people fed that were in desperate need in the South Bronx. So to date, since the pandemic started, we're closing in on 150,000 meals served between our club and our partners in the South Bronx with New York Common Pantry, and through our program, our Citizens Giving for Recovery program. We're working on many more.
There you go. That's how you kick it.
Yeah, that's right. I think we just knew that was such a huge opportunity, and we want to bring awareness too. So part of it is actually delivering meals, and the other part of it is using our platform to raise awareness for New York Common Pantry, raise awareness for the challenges that the South Bronx have been facing. And one of those ways that we did it was through a jersey activation that we did at our home game last Saturday against FC Cincinnati, a 2-1 win for NYCFC, and where we had a jerseys, Citizens Giving for Recovery for the South Bronx.
Did we win, or did everybody win?
Everyone wins. Yeah, we won. We're now unbeaten in 5 straight, which we're very, very pleased with. So doing well on the pitch, but we're also trying to do well off the pitch. As well.
You go. So the Citizens Giving for Recovery campaign, is that the part of the initiative for the South Bronx COVID-19?
Yes, that is. So we have a global, our parent company, City Football Group, NYCFC. We're part of 10 clubs around the world that are under the City Football Group umbrella, and it's a major global campaign spearheaded by City Football Group. So all the money is locally here is matched by our parent company's City Football Group. And so we had a great event last week where we had an online fundraiser for this program, and we raised in one night over $40,000, and then
all right,
matches that dollar for dollar, and that is all going to recovery for the South Bronx.
What was the goal? What did you need?
Our goal was 40, so we doubled it essentially.
You doubled it. Yeah, there you go.
Very pleased. It was kind of the first of its kind, and this is the world we're living in now, is doing everything virtually, and this is the type of event done in person in the past, and kind of a first take at doing something online, and it was a huge success. Great night.
Yeah, and you're working with the Black Lives Matter movement. And
obviously, 2020 hasn't been just about a global pandemic. There's been just a very important conversation in this country and around the world, for that matter, around racism and social justice. And, we feel like we really want to play, a part in that important conversation. Our club was founded on a core principle of empowering better lives through soccer, and we need to empower better lives in our community in New York City, in the 5 boroughs, and where our home is, which is the South Bronx. And so, this is something that is near and dear to organization, and also the team members, our individuals in the organization, and our players, and something that we really support our players on. One of our key veteran players, Sean Johnson, our goalkeeper, is a founding board member of the Black Players Coalition in MLS. And so we've been working with Sean and many other players on our team, working with community leaders, working with our young leaders of our CITC group, our city and the community, to try and forward our club's initiatives to really, really help utilize our platform for good in the community, and help raise more awareness and keep the conversation going about equality and social justice and ending racism.
That's great. I used to be a goaltender.
Oh, is that right?
You think I can come down and maybe practice and see what I have?
we got it. We got to get you down when it's allowed to. I mean, we can. I mean, goalkeepers tend to be socially distanced anyway, right?
That's right.
From way outside, so we can probably make that happen for you.
Yeah, we have that whole net to maintain. Just
that's right. Yeah,
that's good.
That's
What's
great.
next?
No. Yeah, what for us, the Citizens Giving program is a 12-month program, so we're kind of just getting started with it, and we're going to continue more initiatives and working on how do we positively impact the South Bronx, how do we feed more people in need through our partnership with New York Common Pantry. Actually, this morning we just released about an hour ago that we're really proud of, that is led by our young leaders throughout the 5 boroughs as part of our CITC group, which we're calling Power the Vote. And so it's a really a focus of our young team members and our young leaders about how do we get the word out about voting. We're closing in on an important election, and it's a nonpartisan initiative, but it's one that really, how do we educate especially young people on getting registered and getting out to vote. So that's another big initiative for us coming up here starting immediately.
I like what you're doing. And just a note, Madison Square Garden and the Barclays Center, they're going to be open for early voting October the 24th to November 1st.
That's fantastic.
And open all day on election day from 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Yeah,
that's great to hear. We back in June, when we kind of released a number of commitments around what we wanted to do to support Black Lives Matter, and to support equal justice and anti-racism. One of the things that we wanted to support was getting our team members out there to vote, and to be able to have time to volunteer on voting day too. And so we made that a company holiday. And then just today we received a memo from Major League Soccer, from the league office, where it's going to be a holiday across the league and all teams, everyone having to do with MLS, to hopefully not just get out and vote, but also to help volunteer and really get the word out, and hopefully we can have record voter turnout in 2020.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for all that you're doing. Is there a website that people can go to see more?
Yeah. I think everything is, you can get to us at nycfc.com or through our NYCFC app. So please, download, check us out. We're also in the midst of our season right now. As I mentioned before, we're in a great streak of 5 straight unbeaten. We have 9 games left to go in the regular season. Thank you very much. So 9 games left, and then the playoffs. And hopefully, unfortunately, with just kind of how the year has gone, we haven't been able to play our home games in the South Bronx at Yankee Stadium yet, as we typically do. But we're hoping to get back there soon. And as soon as it's safe, which we hope is very soon, we can't wait to welcome our fans back. We really miss our fans and all the support that they give us. But they've been they've been doing a heck of a job supporting us in other ways, virtually and online and other ways. We know that they have our backs, and they've also been doing all the great community work that we've been spearheading. So we thank them. We miss you guys and hope to see you soon.
See you soon. Brad Sims, NYCFC CEO. Keep kicking it. You like that? Huh?
Appreciate it.
All right. See you soon. Stay safe. God bless.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brad Sims. You're doing a great job with the NYCFC. Continue the good work with that football. Maybe we'll come out there and participate a little bit when things allow us to. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you, our viewer, and everybody who came on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have an attitude of gratitude. We can't thank you enough. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice, and let your choice control the chooser. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll see you on the radio on 107.5 WBLS. Love you all. Peace.